Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to Crafters TV. My name's Ben Moseby and welcome to Tuesday. I'm losing my days of the week this week. I don't know why, but it's definitely Tuesday. We've got a jam-packed day lined up for you. Let me tell you what's coming up. Obviously in Wake Up Call here, we're going to be previewing a lot of what is going to be coming up with our very special guest who is here with us today at Crafters TV. Tonight, just to kind of do a heads up on that, at 5 o'clock, launch party is here. Going to be an exciting launch party show. We have got the Fish, she's going to be in, alongside Ali from our Evesham store. She's in once again, and we're going to be looking at the With Sympathy, which is back in stock, the Bookworm collection, which is back in stock, and also a brand new launch, Your Character Edge Dies. They will be here later. Before all of that though, we are in the Craft House at 2 o'clock. So that is coming your way 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, and you know that if we are in the Craft House, that means we have a very special guest. And we do have a very special guest today who is with me on Wake Up Call to preview that show and give you a bit of a heads up as to the kind of things that you can be picking up. It's going to be fun, and I can tell you from previous experience, it is going to be very busy, and you are going to be mesmerised over the course of this show and indeed Craft House. You need to shop the day and get ahead, because with me in the studio today is the marvellous Sandra Rushton. How are you, Sandra? We're super excited to have you back.
Oh, good morning. I feel a little bit of pressure now. You've built me up.
No.
You've built me up. It's like, oh my goodness me. Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, it's so super exciting, and I know you've obviously got probably a lot of your fans will be tuning in and watching, a lot of supporters and that. But for people who haven't seen you before, don't know about Sanntangle, just tell us a little bit about what we can kind of expect today.
Oh gosh, Sanntangle is about making impossible art possible.
I love that.
Yeah. Look at that. That's easy. That's all it is. That's all it is.
In a nutshell, you're going to be seeing loads of great demos today. And what is brilliant, actually, Sandra, you brought us a selection of fantastic collections. And for people who are brand new to Sanntangle as well, we've got collections which kind of go right back to the very basics as well, haven't we?
We have. Yes, it's going to give you a little bit of an insight. If you don't know what it's about and you want to give it a go, we've got a great little starter set that's going to give you a taster session into all the different variations, and then we're going to move you on quite swiftly into creating some fantastic pieces of art that you never thought you could do, but using the stencil and the instructions, a little bit of faith, you'll be fine. You can do this.
Just before we say hello to you guys and get on into this, for those eagle-eyed viewers, might have seen somebody over Sandra's left shoulder. In case you're wondering who that is, let's just explain. Very important special guest as well, Sandra.
Dobby is our house elf. He's our sort of departmental mascot. He goes everywhere with me. He gets into all sorts of trouble.
He's got a purple waistcoat on.
And he does, honestly, he's got more clothes than I have. And they're all specially made, of course. And he just has a great time when we try and get him to work. So, we do try and get him to work.
Yeah.
He sort of does, he does his best, but he's a lovable little minx. He really is.
He has a habit as well, doesn't he, of kind of like appearing in different places during shows. So like, keep your eyes peeled.
He moves about.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see more from Dobby later, and certainly Sandra is going to be wowing us with her demos too. Radical rates on the socials this morning. We've got Susan B, who says good morning from Delaware. Stephanie Theodos joins us from New Jersey. Hello Trudy, who's in Central Florida. Lois joins us from Ohio. Julie Palmer's in Ipswich. Nancy Jones says good morning all. I'm so happy to see Sandra again.
Morning everybody. I was in Florida in January. It was really cold.
Really cold?
It was really cold, absolutely. Yeah, in Florida. Yeah,
wow.
Coldest I've ever known it to be. But I'm sure it's all nice and sunny there now and wonderful. It was just obviously the week that, I went
You just picked the 1 week out of 52. It's freezing. Helen Stewart says, hello everyone. I'm watching this new show to find out what Sanntangle is.
Ooh.
Does anyone do this, says Helen Stewart. A lot of people do, don't they?
Yes, they do. We do have quite a following on the Sanntangle Facebook page. So, yes, you'll if you want to have a look a bit later over there and see what the people have done with these stencils and what's going on. And of course, I still do lives twice a week. So, it's all going. But loads of demonstrations here today to sort of get you going. By the time we've done these, you're going to know what Sanntangle is.
Violet joins us saying retirement coffee and CC fun. I am so blessed. And Linda Armstead says this is something new to me and I'm so excited to see it. Well, we'll get into it. What I will quickly say is we're celebrating today being World Art Day. Perfect day for it, really, isn't it? And all you have to do if you want to win this set from the Colour Your World collection, the craft kit, is to send us a message. Maybe welcome Sandra, maybe ask a question, maybe tell us if you've been Santangling, why you love it so much, tell everybody else how addictive it is and how easy it is to get into. Just send us a comment and we'll pick a random winner at the end of the show. Now, if you go to the shop today on the website, you will see all of the different collections that Sandra has brought along here. So that's where you need to be. What I will stress and say to you again here is the prices I think you're going to see will just be one price for everybody, all right? Because when we welcome our guests in, we bring you a brilliant deal and it's the same price for everybody. So the Club Inspire doesn't count with in these shows. However, the deals you get are tremendous. Everything for you on the website right there. And as I say, low stocks on everything too. So if you see something you like, get in nice and quick because there will be sellouts today, guaranteed. Let's get you started though with the Getting Started with Stencils collection. Really fantastic deal on this one too. So £25, $35 is going to be the price here. And let's talk around this with Sandra because, like, first of all, I think eyes are drawn up here to this artwork. And if you're anyone like me, you look at this artwork and go, well, there's no way I would be able to do anything like that. But everything you're going to give us in this kit allows us to be able to do this, right? It
certainly does, absolutely. Everything that you see on the front cover and a bit on the back as well shows you how to do those things in the instructions. I don't leave you on your own. That stencil looks a little bit intimidating, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Gosh, how do you create all those things? And that's because we've got those basic shapes. If you can sort of follow the instructions through, use those basic shapes, you'll not just be doing what I've put in the instructions, you'll be doing your own versions, your own designs as well. And this is kind of what I want from everybody. I don't want you to just copy what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I want you to come up and do your own things, but I'm giving you that confidence. It's like a bit of a structure to start with.
Yeah.
But then, do you know what? You're going to be off on your own way, doing your own thing. You really are.
And essentially, we can have a flick through this very shortly, but we've got the booklet here, which will kind of take you step by step through kind of all of the things that you need to be doing to create. And we give you the liner, we give you the pencil. What's this as well? The tortillon, isn't it?
It is, well done, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's all about the tools, and you can do this very, very simply and very affordably as well. You need a fine liner, you need a permanent line, and nice and fine, so you get those details. Your pencil is a 2B, which means it's a little bit softer than a HB, and it's going to allow you to sort of blend that pencil out a little bit. Yeah. And the tortillon is exactly what does that. It allows you to blend that pencil, so you're creating shape and dimension without colouring. It's really, really magical when you see it done.
Wait till you see Sandra get into this, because I know, again, if you've not seen this before, you might still be a little bit disbelieving. But when I tell you, you know, hundreds of people, thousands of people love to do this, you get loads of people coming along to your class, and our own Debbie Robinson as well is a massive fan, isn't she, of Sanntangle?
Yes,
she's regularly
I do know Debbie very well, yeah. She's been to a couple of classes, so yes, she tangles in her spare time, if she has any these days. I know she's a busy lady, but we know each other very well. So.
Should we have a look at the booklet with you?
Let's do it.
And see the kind of thing that we're going to be doing?
Of course. So everything that you sort of get here, postcard size, really cool actually, because it means that you can sort of add them onto cards, or if you want to, you can just send them as postcard. So pen, pencil, tortillon comes with it. Your stencil is inside here. Let's just move that out of the way for a minute. Oh, it was here. There it is. So the first thing you're going to do when you get your stencil, you can see that I've got numbers on it. So on the back, you see, you're going to transfer these numbers onto that stencil. Okay. And that means then everything inside, you're going to sort of follow the numbers. So let's have a look for the first one, see. It's literally one page, look. So number one, you've got these little shapes. Draw shape number 9 with the bottom flat. Yeah. Perhaps you'll find it useful to draw in a horizontal line to start with. I mean, there's nothing technical there. Draw a horizontal line and draw number 9 on top of it. So here we go, look, number 9, there it is. So you're going to draw that. And then you're going to sort of bring the shapes over the top. And you see here, it's asking you to split space up. You've got the little curves. You've got little bits of body starting. Then the rain. Even how you draw the rain splashing on the ground. Okay. And then before you know it, we've gone into fine liner, rubbed all the pencil out, and you've got your first little drawing. Literally 7 steps.
That's crazy, isn't it?
So not just that one, of course, that's your little person
Yeah.
in the rain. You've then got a little Japanese scene with some blossoms. The bow in this is just divine on her dress there. But again, you can sort of swap that up. You could bring these flowers in with the person in the rain if you want. You can have that with no rain, sunshade. A vase of flowers, it's something that we send a lot, isn't it, to people? We like to send cards with flowers on.
Yes.
So this is showing you how to draw these different sort of shaped flowers, then how you put it together in a little vase, little stems, bringing your leaves in. So again, you can create a different vase, different shape, as many flowers as you want. The house, I'm going to show you how to do this, I think. How do you draw a house from those shapes?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
How? But even working along, you've then got a single bloom, and then you've got some little abstract shapes, because again, it depends what you like, and this is a bit of taster of everything.
Yeah.
So you've got little shapes here that you can take things in and out. So it's just really nice to sort of see where you're going to go. So shall we do a bit of drawing, or do you want me to?
Absolutely, why not?
Okay, an introduction to Behind the Keyhole, Locket
I love your
Lane.
board, by the way.
Oh, yeah, thank you. This is, yeah, we do a lot of drawing. I like to draw on wood. So this has all been hand-drawn.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, very, very simplistic. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with my pencil.
Yep.
I have sharpened it, so I've got something going. And first things first, I'm going to put myself, let's do it this way. A little bit of grounding. So you see, I'm just lining my stencil up with the edge of my paper there. Then I know I'm going to get a nice straight line. It's not going to sort of slink or anything. So here we go, shape number 12. Shape number 12. So let's put that in. I'm going to put it sort of on that. I've got some little bits going underneath, but I've got a line to go with. So there's shape 12. And then it says number 7. So here we go. Where's number 7? This one. Well, that's not going to make a door.
No.
If I turn it round slightly and use just part of it, there's my door.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of little windows. Now already, you might think, well, actually, I wanted to put my door on the left-hand side, or I might want to use circles for the windows, or have 2 or 3. You can vary it, so you're the creator. Okay, we've got the door, we've got the windows. If I just then bring into a couple of lines there, and one there, I'm going to draw in my roof. So again, I can have my roof as tall, as short, as long as I wanted it to be. Chimney, I'm going to use the top end of number 9, which is the person's body, by the way. There you go, there's our chimney. Couple of little lines here. Let's have a look. 1, 2. So I've got some steps coming up to my little house
Look
there.
how this is coming together. It's brilliant.
Yeah, then we need a tree at the side. So again, I'm going to use that shape number 9. Comes in handy, that does lots. So let's put that shape in. Just going to use sort of the size. I'm not going to put the top, because the top bit here, look, I can extend it out. You see, and add a few little lines.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. And then I could bring number 8 in. I'm going to rub out a couple of those lines as I'm going, because this can be clouds in the sky, or
clouds and the tree, isn't it?
it could be the leaves, because you're never going to draw an individual leaf all the way through, are you? You're going to draw sort of like bunches of them. So if I just do a couple, you can see there that very quickly how it's starting to form. Let's just change that shape a bit, because I mean, let's face it, it's easy to change a shape than to draw something from scratch, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I've just taken that little curve out the bottom,
Yeah.
and I've brought in a bit more of a tree trunk shape. Put a little line on the bottom there. There's my little leaves coming up. I could even have little branches going in and out. And let's have a look. Just going to put myself a curve there. And a curve there. And let's put so you can get carried away now, little window in at the top there.
All of these steps are in the booklet, by the way.
They are literally in the book.
Everything Sandra's doing right now is in the
So
booklet.
whether you want to follow the pictures, whether you want to follow the written word, let's put a little line in there for the little piece there, into there. Look, see, I'm just putting like the window panes in.
Yeah.
Now you'd take a little bit longer with this. I'm sort of on TV time, so you can see how it starts to come together. So, there we go. A couple little
That's so cool.
plants there. But I haven't done anything, have I? That's really tricky to do. Let me bring in the coloured version of that.
Ah, yes.
So you can see now where that shape is. There it is. There's my tree, which started as shape number 9. There's the doorway, the little windows, a few steps in there. And of course, 2 tiny little curves on the top edge there, a little bit of inking in the background. Home sweet home. From that to that.
And this is brilliant. Do you know what sticks in my mind, Sandra, is so many of our viewers who, you know, are brilliant paper crafters will turn around and go, well, I can't draw a stick man. I'm rubbish at drawing. I can never draw. This is the solution, surely, isn't it?
This it certainly is, absolutely. And then this is not even a stick man. This is a silhouette of a person with an umbrella. It's a little geisha girl with a dress, with a parasol. It takes you to so many different levels. So you don't need to be thinking stick people at all. You could think, right now, I could do silhouettes or I can do flowers. I mean, how many times do you think, I just want to add an extra flower, or my card blank isn't quite the right size? You can draw your own. You can add your own little bits and pieces to stamps and die cuts that you've already got, and it just sort of integrates itself in there.
It's such a brilliant system, honestly, and I know, you know, a few of you already saying this is brilliant. Pamela says this is really new to me. Looking good so far. I'm going to have to give this a try. We've got a full 2 hours with Sandra coming up in the craft house from 2. Olga just saying, I have one of Sandra's last kits. It was the first time I was able to actually draw something recognisable. This is what we need.
Fantastic! I wonder which kit that was.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Olga. Vicky Streeter says, I completely agree with Lynn, who says, don't be afraid to try this. Sanntangle has changed my outlook on my art. And Helen Goodwin says, hello from Felixstowe. Lovely to see Sandra on CTV. For anyone who hasn't seen Sanntangle before and is intimidated by the finished result, please believe that this isn't as hard as it looks. This is very doable. The instructions are brilliant and easy to follow. You can do this. And Violet says this would be a great to go along with the fairy dies and stamp set. Absolutely. Listen, as much as I want to hear from you if you're new, I also want to have more of those testimonials coming through for those of you that have Sanntangled before. This is the kit to go for, though, if you are just starting out. And what a brilliant price, £25 or $35 to have everything that you need to get going. The next kit that Sandra is going to take us through is called It's Written in the Stars. This stencil and background again is £30 or $40. And let's have a look. I mean, do you know what? Earlier on, we were going through like the finished samples that Sandra wrote, and every single one we were picking up going, oh, that's amazing. Wow, this is incredible. And have a look at what Sandra's got on her board over there.
This is everything that I've put in the instructions. But of course, once you've done this, you can do your own versions. Look at this, all the symbols on the outside, and if you wanted to, you could then have a personal constellation in the middle.
I love that.
We've also got, I mean, look at this. This is like a little marble moon, or sun if you want it to be.
Yes.
You've got the different moons going around. Then again, you've got this lovely symbol. It's so delicate. You've got all the different signs around there, and again, you could personalise. And I like to personalise, but without it looking like I've personalised it. So that could just be something between you and the person you're sending it to.
Yes.
This is all, look at this. I mean, this is all your symbols, but you've got extra little details around there. You've got suns, moons, eclipses going in. So it's not your kind of your normal things you would expect. It's great to sort of have these bits.
Look at that.
Look at that. You can do this.
It's got a very
you can do this.
Very bohemian feel to it, that one.
Absolutely. And then this, look, this is all your little constellations because yes, I've put them in there. And then look at this.
Oh my goodness
How
me.
lovely is that? And because I've given you the background stencils as well with this bundle, it means that you can make fantastic backgrounds. So here's our stencil. It shows you again, look, your stencil on the back. This is how you number. You don't just have this one though, you've got this circular stencil as well. Really important that is. But working our way in, this is, I think just this one page could keep you good for hours.
Oh, absolutely.
All the constellations there. So you can see where the big dots are. You then just got to join the lines. If we bring our stencil in, there they are, all over there. You've just got to put the dots in, join the lines. That's our zodiac signs. And then we've got our symbols. But again, you've got all the different ones here. Again, these symbols vary now and again. So you might find that this angle might angle slightly, but they're all the sort of the same. You do your own little take on it.
Yeah.
But I've given you extra little patterns, top and bottom, so you can make it something a bit more interesting. And then we get into the instructions. So showing you the star of the show, which is the big one with the star, the sun on. It shows you scratch how to draw these shapes, working your way through. Look, even going into the detail, you can see the pencil lines and where I've drawn things in and rubbed things out.
Yeah.
This is my artwork. This is as I've used the stencil to create those pieces that you've just seen. And then how to put these little stars, little dots, the sun and the moon all coming together. Look, the swirl that goes around those shapes. It's all there. It shows you how to double it up. Look, the detail is showing you how to create those shapes there. Then you've got your suns into your moons. Then you've got your extra little patterns and details going in there. So literally from start to finish, everything in there, even your little signs at the other side there giving you that. Do you want a quick demo?
Oh, absolutely. You don't even need to ask, Sandra.
I know. Here we go. So let's make a start then. Now, I do use cartridge paper, really nice quality, because it means that my torchon and my pencil, which we've not even demoed yet, will actually glide across the paper. So I'm just going to make myself space. Here we go. So we're going to start off with our sort of circle shape, and I've numbered this or lettered it A, B, C, D from the outside. From the inside going out. So when you come to your shape, it says here, for example, draw a vertical line. I'm not going to worry about that for a minute. Oh, let's do a different one. Here we go. So yeah, I've got to draw D, F, G and H.
Okay.
So there's A, B, C, D. There's D.
Yeah.
Ignore E. Do F. What did I say then? G.
H.
And H.
Yeah.
G. There we go. And H. Nothing tricky there, is it? Nothing tricky. I'm also going to mark these little lines. These little dots give you 12. Wonder why 12? Planned. And that means then you know that they're all going to be the same distance apart. I'm going to put that middle in as well. So I've got this. Okay? So if I use one of my stencils again, I'm going to do is I'm going to draw myself a line. Joining the two. Notice I've not gone through the middle. Don't need to.
Okay.
I just need to know where those sort of marks are. Working my way along there. All right, into that one. So you see how that kind of goes? And then I'm going to come in with my circle stencil again. So useful, that circle stencil, even on its own. And what I want to do, see where I've got this space here? I'm going to take the smallest circle, so A. Let's line it up. See, I've got my middle dot on the line.
Yep.
And I can draw in that shape. See?
Okay.
So I'm going to do that on every single one, and just like I planned it, there it is. Okay.
Aha, and this is all in the booklet as well.
So this is where it kind of starts, and then even if I look at the picture, so look, we're here, we've done step 4. Step 5, look, I've got like little triangles coming in the middle. So let's have a look at that. So see where I've got this gap? There's put a little triangle in. And notice as well, I'm using pencil. So you've got this wonderful thing called a pencil rubber.
Yeah.
So if you go wrong, you can just rub it out.
Exactly right.
Okay,
Brilliant invention, that.
I know, it's amazing. Yeah. And paper moves. Did you know that? Paper moves.
Does it?
Which means that
Learning
what you can do with
today.
this is move it so it's comfortable for you to draw. Don't try and do anything too tricky. See, we've got triangles going around. Then it says loops. So let's draw loops. There we go. I'm only going to do a few so you can see what I'm doing. Loops. And it says, right, okay, looking at my space here, I'm going to put a little mark because I'm going to do another loop from there to there. And then one from there to there. And into that one there. See, I'm marking it so I can sort of gauge where the centre is. Loops.
It's crazy as well how all
Loops.
of these sort of small sort of illustrations that you're doing here build up to create that final finished project.
Absolutely.
And when you
Like
break
that.
it down like this, yeah. You can look at that, right?
Where did that come
That's a great
from?
example. You look at
Let's
that
do that again in slow motion.
Yeah.
Okay, so we started with these shapes.
Yeah.
Then we did these lines.
Yeah.
And then I did this circle.
Yeah.
And I did that all the way round, which did this. And then I did a loop. Remember? A loop. And then a loop that side, a loop that side, a loop up there, all the way round.
Yeah. I mean, that's just crazy, isn't it?
So coloured this little bit in. I've added some lines in here. So I've added a few extra tiny little details. But other than that, that's exactly what it is. If I bring back in, just very quickly, there we go, this is what it is. This is the one. So looking at my shape there, that's it there. You see, so look now, you can see those loops. You can see those circles. And you can see that little middle bit there. There. The triangles there, you see, I've shaded them, but here, I've actually coloured them. As simple as that. Simple. I mean, I've not even shaded it yet, but you can see that the image is there. It's then up to you what you want to do with it.
I have a feeling that this particular collection is going to be really, really popular. Very busy for this. And again, everything you need is included within your booklet.
We've not even done the background stencils. You get the background stencils. I mean, yeah, your background stencils, you've got, I mean, there's 2 of them in there. So here, you can see I use this a lot. I've never cleaned them. So you've got all the different stars that are on here. Yes, you can use them to ink through, but also you could use them to actually put in your artwork if you want to. So if I quickly just ink through a little bit of one. So you've got various sort of shapes going on. I don't always tend to use the whole thing. I like to use little bits of it. But look, there's your shapes.
Wow, yeah.
This one is really special, because it's not just a load of dots.
It's all the constellations, isn't it?
All the constellations. So if you wanted to, you could ink through this.
Yeah.
You've got your shapes there. Then you could pick out one of the constellations and perhaps, you know, maybe draw a box around it. So say, for example, this was a constellation.
Yeah.
Let me just put a little box round. So you could sort of use that one as your main feature. But then if we bring our tortillon in, and if I soften off that pencil either side, you see how suddenly it looks like it's popping off the page. So your background is in your background, and your constellation that you've chosen suddenly is forefront of your piece of work.
So that tortillon again is just for almost like smudging the pencil, is it? And softening it?
All I'm doing is I'm moving the pencil across the paper.
Yeah.
So whether I swirl it, which gives it a bit more of a heavier weight, or whether I go back and forth, or actually stroke it. There's loads of different ways of using it. All you've got to do though, when you find that it's not as sharp anymore, don't sharpen it with a pencil sharpener.
Right.
File, nail file, and file it across to a point, and it'll clean it all up for you and put it back to a point.
Written in the Stars is popular. I know that the starter kit is well proven very popular. Alexandra has just said, hello Ben and Sandra, I've seen Sandra on Hobby Maker rather, but I'm guilty of thinking that I can't do it. However, starter kit ordered.
Oh, fantastic. I'm so thrilled for you. That's the thing. It's just thank you for purchasing, but you know, I'm so pleased that you're going to give it a go. You will never look back, honestly. It's a bit addictive in a good way. 10%
of the starter kit has already gone, by the way, which is just here for you. And again, we'll go into all of this in more detail for you in the craft house later. Maureen McNally says, I couldn't even draw a straight line before I met Sandra. Now I'm able to look at a picture and draw it myself, plus draw with Sandra stencils. If I can do it, says Maureen, anyone can. All right.
Thank you, Maureen.
Olga says, I made a seahorse and a jellyfish. That was the lady who messaged earlier.
Oh, fantastic. That seahorse was just a curve, isn't it? And the head looks like, in class they said it looked like a frying pan.
Yeah.
But then you see you've got a curve and a frying pan, and suddenly you've got this wonderful seahorse. Oh, it's such a lovely one, that is. And
Robbie Hedrick says, OM gosh. How easy is this? I can't draw, but I think I could give this a try. I love it. First, I've seen this technique, says Diane. Very interesting. Can't draw a stick figure. There you go. People always say it, but you get the stencils.
We're not asking you to draw a stick figure.
No. This is much more interesting and really, really achievable as well. And just before we move on to the next bundle here, Pamela's just saying, good morning, Sandra. Where can the Crafters Companion community find education? I think you mentioned you go live a couple of times a week.
I do, yes. There's a couple of places. There's Facebook. If you look for Sanntangle on there, then that's where I do the lives on a Friday and a Tuesday. Obviously not today though, so it'll be tomorrow at 2 o'clock our time. So that happens. I was only going to do 12 drawings. I'm on 530 something now. But you think, well, where can I see all these? Then if you nip over to YouTube and have a look for Sanntangle, there's all 500 and odd different videos and all sorts of things on there that you can have a look at. And my very good friend Chris has actually put them in little thumbnails. So you don't even think you've got to start at number one. Have a flick through, look at the one you like and sort of think, oh, I'm going to have a go at that. And I literally draw it. And you can draw it along with me live, anywhere from about half an hour to a full hour, depending on what we're drawing. But it's all there for you, completely free.
And a very quick good morning to the Barnsley bombshell. Debbie Robertson is watching.
Debbie.
She says, good morning, Ben, and my gorgeous, super talented friend, Sandra. Super excited to have you back with us at Crafters TV. You know how much I love to tangle, says Debbie.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. I love you. They don't put us together. I don't know why it is.
Oh, I wonder.
I don't know. Too much talking, not enough work, probably.
Might be the case. Debbie, a talker. I've never really noticed that at all.
She's dead shy.
She is, yeah, she is. So shy. You can't get a word out of her, can you, when she's on here? Dear, oh dear. Next, we are going to have a look at this next collection. One of the best sellers that Sandra's bought us is the Secret Keyhole collection. Already very busy for this and approaching 10% of the stock gone. I'll let Sandra talk you through this, but just having a look at the booklet here, it's a little mouse peering through a beautiful little keyhole.
There's a story.
Oh, is there? Well, we need the story and the scenes that you can create through the keyhole.
Yes, absolutely. The whole point of this is there is a story about it. You imagine you're a little mouse, and the whole thing of the mouse is it's about perspective, looking through a keyhole. So you think, that keyhole's really large, but this mouse is so tiny. And he looks through and he sees all these fantastic worlds.
Yeah.
So you might find that it's just a door opening to a different one, or you might find it's a little town. So imagine somebody moving house. You might want to put, this is where you're going to sort of be living, a little bit of the village in there. But this is where the story started. So let's have a quick look. You've got these different ones in here. Look, this one. There's your keyhole going through into this world of little houses. But you might want to go slightly more fantastical.
Oh, wow.
Where here's your little mouse looking in, and you've got all these wonderful things going on. Who lives in that?
Yeah.
But then you can go a little bit crazy, look. And you've got lots of leaves sort of almost trying to come out
Wow,
into our world.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you can really sort of change it up a little bit. So I'll tell you the story as we're kind of going. So this little mouse looks in, and then, of course, he has a wander through. And this is where he finds the different places. So Locket Lane sort of started from this. And this is where a locket was found behind, I can't remember the house number now, behind one of the houses in Locket Lane.
Oh, yeah.
With a well, where there was a well. And nobody knows where this locket came from, but it's there. And as you sort of work your way through the story and create these houses, you start to build your own story too. So you can see I've got like a letter T upside down.
Yeah.
And I've given you two different sizes here to sort of play with. You've got this sort of size number 19, and you've got a larger one at 15. So I'm going to stick with the smaller size for now. Okay, I'm just going to switch to a different pencil. I just want to use my... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw around number 19, this smaller one. Then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to do the other side of it. Sometimes it's nice to have, okay, we've got half shapes, but that means I can get more on the stencil. Okay, there's my first bit. I've got circles here, lots of different sizes. So my centre is going to go on that vertical line.
Yes.
And I'm going to go with this one here, so it's kind of joining. So that's number 3. See, I'm not even reading the instructions at the minute, but they're there.
You probably know them, to be
yeah,
fair, don't
and
you?
it all sort of fits in. So there's that one. So you see, look, you've got this going on. If I remove that bit, there we go.
10% of Written in the Stars has gone, by the way, and another one of the starter kits has just gone to Linda Sadler. Well done, Linda.
Hey, Linda. So I'm going to put that one in there and that one in there, and then I'm going to draw the two together. Again, look, if I use the edge of my paper, here we go. Line it up so I know it's nice and straight, then I can put that one in there. And then here, see this line here, I'm going to move the stencil over and I'm going to draw that in there. Same with this one, from there to there, into there. Oh, my pencil wants to, a bit of a sharpen there you go, from there to there. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to draw around this shape here.
Yeah.
There we go. And the shape. Now you see when I say I'm drawing around, you see I'm kind of doing like a dotted line almost, because I don't want to sort of commit myself fully until I'm happy with the shape I've got. There we go. So there is my keyhole looking through already.
Yeah.
We want to see the mouse, don't we?
Of course we do, yeah.
We do, we want to see the mouse. So here we go. Again, you've got different sizes for this mouse because, you know, it depends on what you want to do. I'm just going to get rid of that bit, and there's my little, it's like a pear drop, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to use this one as well.
Has the mouse got a name?
The mouse doesn't have a name because, it does. There's a lovely lady named Lynn who actually writes stories about the two mice, Mouse and Squeak.
Mouse and Squeak.
So, yeah, so we leave them with Mouse and Squeak there. Little nose look, okay? So let's put in one here. So it's a loop and a loop. And then it's a little oval. Let's put in a little bit there.
Aww.
Oval, look, a bit there. And then the tail, going to come from here, look, and we're going to wind it round. Right, so it's a wavy line. And then in we go. There's our little mouse. From there, you can decide what you want to do. So if I look at this one, for example, it's got some steps going up into a little townhouse there. So let's do that. So this is sort of, you can see this is sort of coming out, but I'm going to keep it slightly within because my mouse is sort of seen there. So already I'm deciding what I'm going to put in here, see? I'm deciding whether my steps are going to be completely straight, whether they're going to be a bit rickety. And then again, if I put myself a little rectangle in here, again, I'm going to sort of do it freehand because it means it's a bit rickety then, so you're getting a feel for the town that you want to do. Let's put a little line there, and I'm going to put a little triangle on top. Okay. And then let's double those lines up a little bit.
Just following this in the booklet as Sandra goes.
Yeah.
Page 6 in the booklet, what
Look,
Sandra's doing right now.
I'm drawing. Let's put a little curve in there. Now, of course, you're getting the locket lane with this, so if you didn't want to do this little bit freehand, you've got all the stencils in there that are going to do different windows and doors and things. But sometimes, you know, I know we say, oh, we want it to be straight and neat, but a little bit random and rickety really gives it some character. And you can decide, you know, who lives in this house.
Sounds like a TV show.
Yeah, that mouse looks huge towards the house, but remember, he's on the outside looking in, so you don't know how far away this is. So let's put a few more steps in. There we go. And then here maybe we want a little plant pot, so it's a little rectangle look. Some little lines coming up, little bubbles on the top there. Little bubbles around it. So I'm kind of creating my own little world. And of course everything's got to stay within. So let's put, so on the top of this step here, we've got another little house. So again, look, I can't sort of put the whole triangle on now because it's sitting behind. So this is what starts giving you that little bit of depth and a little bit of 3-dimension.
So like you said, I can almost see people wanting to kind of design with these and then creating their own stories.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, making little storybooks and things like that.
Yeah.
So there's a few more houses up here with the trees, look, 2 little lines. And then we're going to draw swirls. Little Swiss rolls, look.
Little Swiss rolls.
There you are, little swirls. There you go. And then if I just bring my tortillon in, again, you'd see how that's sort of coming on. Let's give our mouse a little bit of shading. I'm just going to move that line underneath these little ears there. There you go. Oh, little clips there. See, you can even make it little eyelashes. So you can sort of have a little bit of character for yourself. And because my pencil's sort of a softer pencil, you see how now I'm not even colouring it in. Don't have to. You can see how it's starting to get a little bit of shade in there. There he is, a little bit under there. Look, I'm just sort of moving that pencil around on the paper. And the great thing is once you've shaded it, you sort of think, well, okay, I've got that. If you want to, I mean, this was sort of fashioned on, you know, the sugar mice you used to get when you were little.
I do remember the sugar mice,
gosh,
yeah.
It was no good for your teeth.
No.
But, you know, you can, now you've shaded it, what you can do is bring a touch of colour in. And so rather than actually colour it, you know, fully, you can bring a little bit of that in over the top of the shading. Just give it a hint of colour in there. There it is, look. Because you've already done that bit of shading, let's give him a little bit of a base to sit on.
You know, once you've done this, I've just seen a few people commenting. So let's imagine you've sort of finished your creation in pencil then.
Yeah.
What's the next step for you? So do you then go over with your art liner?
Yes, sometimes I will draw straight in with pen.
Right.
So if I'm drawing things like these flowers, I would usually draw them in pen.
Yeah.
There's some things that you don't want to sort of spend an hour that you'll never get back doing that kind of thing. If I'm drawing the swirls on the trees, once I've got all the houses in, I would perhaps do the swirls and things like that with a pen. The main thing is getting the basic shape. And because I wasn't sure whether things, so like for this one, for example, see I've got things coming out of the keyhole. I won't draw the full keyhole in until I'm convinced I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But something like this that is coming out, I will actually come in with my pen and I will do it straight away in that. But then it depends on your confidence, doesn't it?
I suppose, yeah.
Starting out, I would do everything in pencil.
And then a follow-up from that, which a few people have asked, including Sister P4, what do you then colour with? Like, what's your go-to medium for colouring?
Gosh, Coloured pencils all the way.
Right.
I do like to do that. Again, you've seen me shading, so you could shade first if you wanted, then add colour on the top, and that gives it a bit of a muted effect. But certainly coloured pencils, I use my wax-based pencils. The main thing with that is you definitely, in order to blend and make it look right, you definitely want a black and a white pencil. That's the go-to for everything. And then just colour to your heart's content. Watercolour also looks lovely. It gives it a soft feel, so that's quite nice. If you were working on wood, for example, these I've used coloured pencils on my board.
Okay.
So if I just move that, that is coloured pencils. And then, of course, a bit of Crafter's Companion Spray and Shine.
Love it.
It covers it up. And because I use my boards a lot, I do sort of like go over a couple of times because they do get used. But yeah, coloured pencils are my main one. Alcohol markers work just as well. Honestly, it depends what you want to use and what you're going to do with it. So if it's alcohol markers are your thing, go alcohol markers. If it's colouring pencils, go colouring pencils. Whatever you want to do.
And just to say, we've barely scratched the surface with this because we've got the secret keyhole, and then once we're through the secret keyhole,
yes,
we're into Locket Lane.
Yeah, I can show you some samples.
With.
I know I've only got a couple here, but yeah. So we talk about the story of Locket Lane. It is about a locket, and it was found at the back of somebody's house. This house, they've all got kind of real estate. So in the instructions, it'll tell you what kind of a house this is. So this is like the pumpkin house. And it's got all sorts of weird and wonderful flowers, but so simple to draw. It depends what you do. I think actually I've used alcohol markers to colour that. But then if you have a look here, you can see where Angie's gone a bit crazy. She's done a couple of different variations because you get how to draw the key, the famous locket in there as well. So you get a couple of different variations. This one, I mean, look at this. You get the house and you can start to sort of create your own things. So depending on size, you can sort of turn it into a full-blown picture. See, I've got this one, look, completely different. But then again, completely different.
Yeah.
And the main thing about what we do here is because I've given you the stencil and the shapes, you can then create your own little worlds and do your own thing with it. So it completely varies, and it depends what you want to do. I know that sounds scary saying it's what you want to do, but I'm giving you the instructions, I'm giving you the stencil, and within all of that, I go through how you would draw that, but then honestly, you're going to start to want to do your own thing. You think, what if I've got 3 or 4? What if I've got 5 houses? I mean, this one, it belongs to 3 sisters.
Oh, yes.
All live together. They can't live together, but they can't live apart. So they've all got separate little places. And of course, how you do the roses and the leaves, everything else around it all fits in. So this is all about the Locket Lane behind that keyhole that you've drawn. So this is, if you were to walk through, down the road, round the roundabout and up the cobbled lane, that's where Locket Lane is. So it's just, the whole thing's in my head. I need somebody to map it all out, I think. It'd be great.
I just absolutely love this. I'm seeing people say that they're mesmerised, saying that they're feeling this very soothing to watch. That's Locket Lane, and again, we'll go into it in more detail in just a few moments later on Craft House. So 10% of the stock gone. That's Locket Lane with the stencils that you're going to get, and of course you've then got your secret keyhole included as well. So a real brilliant collection. 10% of the stock gone. Pretty much as we're showing the different items, then stock is very quickly going on that particular item. Once you've seen it, once you kind of get the gist as to what you're going to be doing, then things are disappearing. That one, a real star of the show, the secret keyhole Locket Lane, for £38 or $52. I've been fascinated, says Julie, by Sanntangle for years. I've bought the starter kit today, now sat mesmerised by the demos. That starter kit is proving very popular, as we thought it would, and I know a lot of people are now jumping in getting that secret keyhole as well. Lynn says, I'm loving this, feel relaxed just watching Sandra doing the drawing. And just to recap, I know we're going to come on to the Simply Shoes and Bags collection. For Rosalind, who's just joined, says, what's that little animal hanging on the sea in the background? What's going on there, says Rosalind. Who's that there, gate crashing the show?
He'd love being called an animal. Well, there he is after a few gins, I've got to admit it. That's our house elf, Dobby. Yeah. There he is. He's behaving today. He's actually a bit quiet.
Yeah.
It's unusual.
It is. He's not moved yet. Maybe he'll move at some point. I don't know why. Next,
he's a bit starstruck.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. It's probably what it is. Next collection is Simply Shoes and Bags. Then,
absolutely, yes.
10% already gone. Not even seen it.
Now, of course, you know, they're not just any shoes, are they? And they're not just any bag. So I've got quite a few samples here. Some of them are from the instructions, and some of them, my little team have gone a bit crazy. I mean, a pair of sneakers. Look at that. How lovely are they?
Cool.
You could draw that. You could draw. Look, even the 3D.
Yeah.
But look, that's the version that's actually in the instructions. If I show you, look, there it is. Shows you how to draw them. So you could have any colour you like, but then you can go a little bit fantasy.
Look at those.
Yeah, look
Oh,
at
wait.
this. Oh, what's this
Super
one?
fancy.
Look, this is in the instructions, a house. So again, we're going that fantasy route, so you can mix and match and do whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Actually got a little crafter's companion butterfly on there as well.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So bags, this is where Angie's gone a bit crazy. So she's done her own thing once she's sort of had a go at the stencil and the instructions. Look at this.
Oh, that's
Oh,
incredible.
it's upside down. There you go. So
Yeah.
this is one, instead of having the butterfly, you've got the flower that's in there, and you've got the dragonfly, a complete sort of little town going on there. So this is how you
Little
start
shoe
to get away with it. I mean, then she's, look at these. I mean, look, the little house.
Yeah.
This is a bit Halloween-y, look, the coffins.
Yeah, it is a little bit, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's amazing. Look at this one, what you can start to create when you get going with these. So they sort of work. I mean, look at that for the thread on that one. How lovely. Very straight. When I say straightforward, yeah, they're kind of straightforward. So let's have a look at how we do this. I think
Okay.
let's get straight into it. So here's your stencil. So you can kind of see you've got different shoes. This shape, by the way, this shape, that's that sneaker.
Oh, is it?
It is, yeah. But let's draw one of the, let's have a look. Let's draw one of the sort of stilettos. So here we go. Let's go in with this shape and this shape. So this is, see, I didn't take my stencil off there because this is kind of in proportion for my size shoe. I'm a size 3.5 to 4.
Are you actually?
So if you wanted this to be a little bit longer, you could draw this shape and then you could move this further up.
Yeah.
So you get a longer shoe.
3.5, 4.
I know. So, okay, to join it together then, I'm going to bring this one up here, and then this one I'm going to come round here.
Yeah.
Okay? So this bit's missing. So again, it's amazing that paper moves. This is what I want to do, is I want to put myself a curve here, and it's going to kind of join. So I move my paper so it's comfortable for me to draw.
Yeah.
So I start it off up here, and it's coming round here. Okay, so it's like almost, okay, I've got this. I'm imagining. A few little dotted lines, look.
Yeah.
And then go for it. Okay, there's your shoe. But of course, this needs a little bit on the other side, so I'm going to follow that line now, and I'm going to bring it along and bring another one on the inside, 3D.
Okay.
So then we also need a little bit of something going on here, so I can straighten that off if I want. Straighten that off, bring a little line up here, and I can bring a bit down here. It's all in the instructions.
Yeah, it is.
You see? So there's my shoe for intents and purposes. But let's make it into a bit more of a platform. So let's extend that down. Let's bring that down. Bring it round. Again, like not always committing myself, but again, it's always in pencil. Now, because I've put that much space or shape on there, I've got to do the same on the heel. But if I wanted to, I could bring the heel out. Or I could curve it. I could do all sorts of things there. But let's stick with what we've got for now. So then I've got to do, when I say a bubble, if I was to say to you, draw a circle, you'd be like, no, can't do a circle. Absolutely no way. But if I said draw a bubble, you could do that. It's achievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're going to draw a bubble.
Okay.
Sort of here. There we go. Bubble. Don't even have to fully commit myself, look. And then all the bits on the inside, just going to bring my rubber in. Let's get rid of those. Okay. So, you see that's my makeup brush. It's, sometimes, if you're rubbing out, because I'm using like a 2B or soft pencil, if you rub out and move it away with your hands, you'll find as you'll smudge the pencil. Yeah. So if you use one of these, sorry, Mum.
If you
you could do that with it. It gets
if you picked up one of our fan brushes over the last few weeks, we've got those, so you can use that instead of your makeup brush.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm on step 3, and sort of inside here it says draw a loop. We've already drawn loops in the first starter kit. But this one, I'm following the shape. Look, it's a bit fatter at the top and it comes to a point there. Okay, goes around a little bit more. And then on the other side, I'm going to draw it, but this time it's kind of a bit fatter on the top, like so. And then I've got another one going there, and another one here, bit of a wobble there. And then I'm going to come in with another one on the edge here. Now this is step 6 now, so it's showing me every single step of the way. So I've got 1, 2, 3 there, 2, 3 there. I'm going to put a part bubble in.
Yeah.
And then here I've got another one coming in here. And I've got another one coming in here. And then across the top I've got this shape and this shape. And then I've got this one kind of comes in there. And then coming back down to the bottom here, so this is step 9. I've already got that one in place, so I'm going to bring that one in. See, they're just loops. Another loop, another loop. I'm just changing shape slightly. And then it's like, okay, carry on with these loops. So I'm going to carry on with these loops, following that same shape. Okay, sort of coming around. I can do a little bit smaller there if I want to. Bring that one out. So all the same shape, see? I'll bring another one sort of here. And a couple there. So I'm going to come out here with a loop, put a little line on. Little loops. And then here. So at this point, I would draw that in pen now, as we talked about pen earlier. And then with this, I'd be able to come in over the top with pencil once I'm happy. Do it in pen or straight in with pen if I wanted to. Let's find my tortillon. That's my scent a little bit there. Look how that pencil's just moving.
Yeah. It's crazy to see how quickly it comes together as well, just following it in the booklet. So we're on about step 11 or 12 here now.
Yeah, absolutely. So that gives me my flower. We've got extra flowers then coming up and around, but I know we're sort of always a bit strapped for time. So if I just ignore that for a little bit, I can then rub this bit out, look. So I've got that shape coming in now, and I can bring in a little bit more detail there. So this is kind of little lines coming all the way down. And then we could put a little leaf in here maybe, say a little leaf. This is really nice, look. Remember loops? Here we go again, look.
Oh, yeah.
Loops, 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 and I've put little bubbles in between. Little line, little bubble, little curves round. You see how it starts to build? So you can see sort of the basics. Are you ready?
I mean, come on, that is just incredible.
Yeah. Can you see the flower? Look, the heel. I've actually put a little line, so I've got a shape like it's going through the heel. There's my loop leaf. There's my platform. There's my little bit of detail. So you can see how I get from that to that.
Yeah. It's so brilliant to see, and of course, if you're taking advantage and buying any of these collections today, you'll have all of this tuition to come back to, and of course you can join Sandra and the rest of her team over on the Sanntangle social pages as well to find all of the inspiration that you need. And remember, not just the Simply shoes that you're getting in this bundle, you are going to get your Simply bags as well. So plenty of food for thought, and 10% of the stock gone here. You can see exactly what is happening. And this is going to be one of those shows, no doubt, right? It's one of those shows where we're all absolutely mesmerised by what Sandra's showing us. When we finish in about 6 minutes' time, everyone's going to be going to the tills. Everyone's going to be shopping. So you can expect when we come back in an hour for Craft House for us to be, saying you need to get your skates on a little bit here, because I think a lot of people seeing this for the first time want to get involved, and a lot of people who've already kind of invested in Sanntangle wanting to get kits that they haven't seen before. Helen says there is no right or wrong way with Sanntangle. No one can exactly replicate Sandra's designs. Just follow the steps and the finished result is your artwork.
I know, and I can't replicate somebody else's shape or designs either, because what you all do out there is fantastic as well. And sometimes I look at it and think, oh my goodness, I would never have thought of that. So it's sort of a two-way thing, and I've always said for me and the Tangle team that we're all a team, and it works both ways, doesn't it? So welcome on board.
We just want to finish up by having a look at the getting started stencil, because a quarter of the stock has gone. As you just talk us around this again, Sandra, a question from Sister P4 who says, did Sandra say what type of paper she makes her creations on?
I do. I use cartridge paper. Now I know it's quite readily available in the UK, but I know in the States it can be a little bit tricky. So there is a company, I think it's a company called Canson, and they do cartridge paper. What it is, if I sort of explain it a little bit, it's a nice heavy duty. I mean, this is 270 GSM, and it's smooth enough to work with, but if you actually bring a pencil onto it, it goes over real easy. But then with your tortillon, you see you can actually move the pencil.
Okay.
And if you use like a regular printer paper, you can't really do that. A watercolour paper, because you've got lots of dips and pits in it, you'll find that the tortillon doesn't always go across as well. So you're after something that's smooth, but it's got a little bit of a tooth to it, if that makes sense. It just works well. It means that your 2B pencil will go across it. So if you've got an artist sort of sketch pad that's got this kind of paper in, it'll take water, you can ink over it no problem. So it's a nice sort of middle road. It's not super smooth, but it's not really heavy duty watercolour. It's kind of in the middle, if that gives you a little bit of an idea.
Keep the questions coming. I apologise for, we've had a few people saying, well, can you show this, can you show that? We're not going to get time to show everything, an hour isn't nearly enough, but we do just want to finally, again, show you the Getting Started collection, because this has proved the most popular. Over a quarter of the stock has gone here. Sandra, just in a nutshell, because I know we've only got a couple of minutes left, what are we going to be getting in this kit?
This gives you a taster of everything. So if you like drawing people, you've got the little person in the umbrella, you've got the little geisha. Flowers, it shows you how to do a vase of flowers and a single bloom. It gives you an introduction to Locket Lane with that little house.
Yep.
And you've also got some little abstract sort of designs as well that you can use just to sort of wind your way around and have a go at some different shapes. And then that means that you can use them, you know, to make different cards with as well. It just gives you an insight into all our sort of various different kinds of stencils, and it gives you, of course, you've got the right paper in there, so you've got postcards that have been printed on the back, but you've got that lovely cartridge paper, 270 GSM to get you going. You've got your 2B pencil, which means you're going to get the right one that's going to blend nicely. You've got your tortillon, which of course you absolutely need, and you've got a nice permanent size 3 permanent fine liner.
And is that, just a question, if we are brand new, is that the one that we should definitely go for?
And you know, it comes in a little A5 pack as well, doesn't it? So you get the little folder that goes with it. So everything can go in there. It can get put away easily. You can throw it in your bag if you want to, and then you can use it on the go. It's a real talking point, actually, if you actually do. So, yeah, it's nice to have.
What a brilliant show. 2 o'clock, we're back in the craft house, Sandra, and we're going to look at the other kits, but also you're happy to explore what everyone wants to see, right?
Absolutely, yes. If whatever we've got here, if you want to see something, if you want to ask questions or you're not sure about something, please ask, and if I can help you, I certainly will, even if it's something I've got to do later, or if I can demonstrate it here, I will do.
I mean, we have certainly been wowed by all of the demos. It's been a few years since I've worked with Sandra, and still, you know, you see it and you think, my goodness me, like, how achievable is this? When you see the finished samples, you go, well, that's no, I could do that. But when you see it broken down step by step, and you get these brilliant instructions, and you get all the inspiration from Sandra, you suddenly realise that actually, even if you're one of those people who says, I can't even draw a stick man, but you can do this. So take advantage. We're going to have an hour's break for you to check out all of the deals that you want to get. I would get them, right? If I were you, I wouldn't wait until the next show, because we are obviously going to be welcoming more people in later, because it's going to be, you know, sort of get up time for a lot of people in the US. So things are going to sell out, and we don't have huge amounts of stock. So if you've seen something that you like, get it in the break. I say break for me and Sandra. But if you stay with us, Lily is going to be up in about 1.5 minutes time with Craft Together. So all you need to do, wherever you're watching right now, once we finish this show in 39 seconds time, just refresh your page and you'll be able to see a show with Lily, Craft Together, where she is going to be encouraging you to craft along with the Illustrator pen. So an hour of illustrators with Lily. And then, of course, Sandra and I are back in an hour's time. Just to say as well, tonight at 5, Launch Party is back. The return of the With Sympathy collection and the Bookworm collection. We've got a brand new launch for you as well with Debbie Fisher. And, of course, Ali from Evesham is going to be back on the show too. So lots still to come. Refresh your page after we end here to see Lily. And make sure you come back in an hour for more amazing inspiration with Sanntangle. We'll see you in a bit. Bye for now.